Guys, um, today we're going to talk about homeopathic potency selection again. So, potency selection in homeopathy is called posology. So, in case you don't know, potencies are the little numbers after a homeopathic remedy. The name of the remedy is like 30C, 200C, 50M, or something like that. Potency selection is very controversial both today and during Hahnemann's time. It was the same. So homeopaths cannot agree on a unified system of potency selection. During Hahnemann's time, so this is actually, I'm reading from Stuart Close again, one of the greatest homeopaths who ever lived. Um, and during Hahnemann's time, he says, Hahnemann himself, almost in despair of ever being able to bring his followers to an agreement on the subject. So during Hahnemann's time, they couldn't agree on potency selection, and it's the same today. People argue about potency selection. Classical homeopaths insist on giving few repetitions and higher potencies, while the practical homeopaths or the modern homeopaths, the ones who reject classical homeopathy, say that we are in a cult and we're in the cult of Kent, and potency selection and dosing should be more flexible. So just as a refutation to that, we're not in the cult of Kent, because it's not just Kent who says this, it's all the classical homeopaths. So Close, Kent, uh, Boger, everybody says this, okay? Everybody supports the classical dosing method. So we're not in the cult of Kent. You're actually going against all of classical homeopathy, which is a pretty dumb thing. Okay, so it's the same today as in Hahnemann's time. Close says such a state of affairs is unfortunate, assuming that there is a difference in the action of the various doses of medicines, a series of potencies or preparations. The different medicines has been available for use. It follows that an entire series should be open to every practitioner. If he confines himself to one or two potencies, be they low, medium, or high, he is limiting his own usefulness and depriving his patient of valuable means of relief and cure. So basically, non-classical homeopaths tend to do the, you know, give only low potencies repeated frequently method. And that's wrong. So you need to use all the potencies. Um, Everybody says that. All the old teachers say that. And yes, classical homeopaths tend towards the higher potencies, and I don't know what the problem with that is. So, under homeopathic principles, any potency may be required in any case. It is unreasonable to expect to cure all cases with any two or three potencies, as it is to expect to cure all cases with two or three remedies. The selection of the dose is much an integral part of the process of making a homeopathic prescription as the selection of the remedy. Yeah, I mean, it's quite important. I don't agree 100% with Close here, because the remedy is probably going to do good if it's the correct remedy, whatever the potency might be. Of course, there are cases where, yeah, it's going to be way too high or way too low. Then it's going to be a problem. And what else do we have here? choosing the potency. In general, it may be stated that any curable diseases may be cured by any potency. This is what I just said, I think, when the indicated remedy is administered. But their cure may be much accelerated by selecting the potency or dose appropriate to the individual case. 5 considerations influence us: the susceptibility of the patient, seat of the disease, the nature and intensity of the disease, the stage and duration of the disease, the previous treatment of the disease. Okay, so susceptibility, um, I think Close means, by susceptibility, he means whether the patient is a sensitive type or a dull type, who doesn't react to stimulus. But I think we can also take this to mean like the strength of the immune system, the ability to react, the overall state of health, right? And of course, you have to tailor your remedy to that. So that's obvious, right? So I don't know if you reject classical homeopathy, what your problem with that is. If somebody is more susceptible, less susceptible, has better health, has worse health, the immune system is better, the immune system is worse. Of course, we have to give a higher potency if the patient can take it. We have to give a lower potency if the patient doesn't react to stimulus. The seat of the disease is the type of disease. Is it on the physical level, the mental level, the intensity of the disease? If the disease is very, very severe, yes. If you have a very, very severe disease, like, we don't want to say the word cancer here because we're also on YouTube, but yes, a very, very intense disease will, for example, require lower potencies. The stage and duration, previous treatment of the disease. What else do we have? Repetition of the remedy. This is the same. Again, this is the same throughout all of classical homeopathic literature. So if you want to throw that out the window and just make up your own system, then that's kind of crazy, because the classical homeopaths all say the same thing. The only rule which can be laid down with safety is to repeat the dose only when improvement ceases. To allow a dose or a remedy to act as long as the improvement is produced is sustained is good practice, but to attempt to fix arbitrary limits to the action of the medicine, as some have done, is contrary to experience. Hahnemann says in paragraph 245, perceptible and continued progress of improvement in an acute or chronic disease is a condition which, as long as it lasts, invariably contraindicates the repetition of any medicine. Very interesting. So, to recap this, basically, if you have a very bad health, if you have a very serious disease, you go to the low potencies. If you don't know what low potencies are, if you're not a homeopath, those are 9, 12, 6. 30 is even 30 is a low potency. If you have a healthy person with good susceptibility, you can go high. 200, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000. Don't repeat the remedy while the improvement lasts. So that's it for today. And if you would like to receive homeopathic treatment from me, you can find on my Telegram signal and simplex in my channel description.